All right, ladies and dudes, this week I'm going to tackle the afterlife, at least my opinion on it. Stay tuned. What's up, YouTube? It's this guy, Jeremy McDonald. Let me hear you say it. One of your very favorite people with Parkinson's. Of course, that's Jeremy, also known as J-Mac, Jeremy Mac. Let's do this thing. All right, let's get this show on the road. But before we do that, I'd just like to tell you all my contact information is below. My email address, I'll put my Facebook and my Instagram. Best way to get a hold of me is probably through Instagram or email, Jaymacpodcaster@gmail.com. But I check all my socials every day, so if you really want to get a hold of me, you'll find a way. All right, so before we go any further, I'd like to explain these records behind me. This is my sitar teacher, the late Imrat Khan. This is what he looked like when I knew him. Over here, he's a little bit younger. The reason I have these up is because he was probably the wisest man I've ever met. The experience and the things that guy went through, he lived 3 lifetimes. And he passed away a few years ago, and I unfortunately didn't get to see him before he passed. But I do have one picture of him, of me and him together. I'll put it up there. There's his wife, Belinda, I believe, on the right, and there's me and Naomi in the back, and there he is tuning my sitar. One of the last times I saw him. But the reason I wanted to talk about the afterlife, or at least my particular take on it, is that, as you know, if you've been watching my channel the last few weeks, I've been kind of going through this thing with watching these old videos myself and seeing my friend Adam, who passed away 2016, May 4th. It's been 8 years. It seems like it's been, sometimes it seems like it's been 20. Sometimes it feels like it's been 2 days. But I do kind of wonder, I've always been kind of a thinking guy, if you can't tell. I like to kind of look at things from a lot of different angles. I should just warn you here that I was raised very religious, and I was taught kind of in a literal heaven and a literal hell. I don't believe there's any wrong answers to this question. I don't think there's any way to prove anything I'm saying or anybody else says one way or another. And if believing in the traditional Judeo-Christian heaven and hell is where you find your peace, go with it. I'm not here to tell anybody how to believe. This is just my opinion. And I'm actually standing on the shoulders of giants here by relaying what Imrat told me about his opinions of the afterlife. So just a little disclaimer there. I'm not one that believes in a literal heaven and hell. I like to think of things as like we're all made of energy, and energy never goes away. It just transfers from one thing to another, one place to another. Imrat told me something so brilliant, and this is probably the most profound thing he ever told me, because we were talking about the afterlife. Because I had recently kind of come out of my church that I grew up in and was kind of trying to find my own way and find out what I thought about life and death and things like that. Existential questions, I believe, is the term. Questions about existence. Imrat said something to me. He says, I don't believe in an afterlife in the traditional sense. He's like, I have children. My sons and daughters, I believe I have one daughter. My sons and daughter carry me through their DNA and through their cells and the memory of me with them. So in that sense, I live forever. But he actually spun it a little bit even more clever, which I thought was not clever, just wise. He said, in the same way that I have my physical children, I also have my musical or my spiritual children, which are my students. He's like, and what I impart to you in these lessons that we would sit down, he would teach us music, but more importantly, he would teach us about life. And he said, this is me passing what I know, my thoughts, my soul, my music, my wisdom on to the next generation. And he said, so after I die and pass on to whatever comes next, I will live forever through my students and through my children. And I thought, wow, that's something that nobody can argue with. There's so many different ways you could look at the afterlife, from reincarnation, some of the things that Buddhists believe, obviously the Judeo-Christian sense, and Just the various different ways to see eternal life or what happens after. But that was put in a way that was just so eloquent. I thought, And so the more I thought about that, like I said, I've been thinking about this a lot. Adam, my friend Adam, kind of lives on through me, in the sense that he touched me so profoundly that his laughter, I hear it in my head. I hear his comments I can hear him commenting about some of the things I've been going through lately. And my hope is, and I really do truly believe this, that I am touching people out there in a way that will kind of not, I guess, give me immortality may sound like a grandiose way to say it, but that some part of me lives on through the people I talk to and that I reach out to and that some of my best friends, and vice versa. I've made some really good friends through this channel, and I feel like that is true. That is true immortality. That is truly transcending this life and going to the next life. And we're all just little balls of energy bouncing off each other. And I would like to think, just like the Beatles said at the end of Abbey Road, the love you take, in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. And that's just kind of the way I view the afterlife. Not in a necessarily real cosmic, spooky sense, or not in like a heaven and hell type of thing, but the people we touch, good and bad, but hopefully I touch more people in a positive way. That is true immortality. So I'd like to thank Imrat for this. Like I said, I'm standing on the shoulders of giants doing this video. I wish I could claim credit for it, but that is just the most profound way. And here's the thing: it doesn't even exclude the fact that if you do believe in an afterlife, heaven and hell, the same is still true. You live on to the people you touch, to the lives you change, and that is truly something that I can live with. It makes me want to be a better person. It makes me want to touch more people, influence more people, encourage more people to go out and do things and live. And like I said, it comes right back at me when I send it back. When I send it out to you, it comes right back to me. The fact that you guys warm my special part of my heart and touch me in a certain way that I'll never forget. So hopefully I didn't get too spooky or too metaphysical on you here. But this is J-Mac from his bunker on a sweltering hot summer day in St. Louis, saying peace and love from the underground.